Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the GMAT. We have been solving GMAT math problems out of this book here, GMAT Review, the official guide, the 13th edition. If you do not own one already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 170. Page 170, today is our lesson number 143. Problem number 129 is what we're going to solve. It says an object is thrown vertically upward. We're throwing something upward, vertically upward. Its height at t seconds, at a given number of seconds, is given by this equation right here. Height equals -16 times t minus 3 squared plus 150. The question simply is, what is this height 2 seconds after it reaches the maximum height? In order for us to find out what is its height 2 seconds after it reaches its maximum height, we have to first figure out at what precise time it reaches its maximum height. And then we have to add 2 more seconds to it, and that will give us the value of t. And once we have the value of t, we can put it in this expression and find it in this equation and find out the height. So let's find out, when does it reach its maximum height? Here's the expression, here's the equation rather. H equals -16 t minus 3 squared plus 150. Now what we have to understand is that this part here, t minus 3 squared, t minus 3, that doesn't matter what this quantity is, whether it's positive or negative. When you square something, a square root of any quantity, whether it's positive or negative, by the time you square it, it becomes positive. So this part is positive. Then it's being multiplied by -16, which of course is negative. So this entire thing is a product of a negative and a positive, which means the entire thing is negative. Which means, if it's negative, which means it's taking away from 150. It is taking away some amount from 150. And because we want the height to be as high as possible, we want its maximum, we want to figure out what time it reaches its maximum height. It will reach its maximum height when this quantity is at its minimum. When this quantity is at its minimum, that's when the height is going to be maximum, because we are subtracting this quantity from 150. How do we make this thing minimum? How do we make -16 times t minus 3 squared minimum? Well, obviously we can't do anything with -16. -16 is just -16. How do we make it minimum? Well, that's a very simple answer. By multiplying -16 by what? By a big fat 0. By multiplying -16 by big fat 0. In other words, we have to make this guy 0. How do we make that guy 0? Let's do it here. T minus 3 is 0 when t equals 3. Voila! When t equals 3. By multiplying by a big fat 0. Then that happens when t is equal to 3. Let's find out. You see, we'll put it back in here and you will see. When t equals 3, this guy disappears. When t equals 3, h equals -16 times 3 minus 3 squared. You see, 3 minus 3 is 0. 0 times -16 is 0. And we get the maximum height is 150. The height is maximum, which is 150, when this entire thing disappears, when this entire term disappears. So that's going to disappear when t is 3. So now we know that it reaches its height 3 seconds after it's launched. If you want to use the word launched, that is, if you want to use the term launched. But 3 seconds after it's released vertically upward, let's put it that way, 3 seconds after it's released vertically upward, it reaches its maximum height. We want to know how high it is, what is the height of this object 2 seconds after that. So we want to find out its height at precisely 5 seconds. Let's find out. So when t is equal to 5, which is 2 seconds after it reaches maximum height, h will equal negative 16 times t minus 3 squared plus 150, negative 16 times t, which is 5, 5 minus 3 squared plus 150, negative 16 times 5 minus 3 is 2 and 2 squared is 4 plus 150, which is very simple. Height equals 150 minus 64. 16 times 4 is 64. 10 minus 4 is 6. 14 minus 6 is 8. Voila. 5 seconds after it's launched, it is going to be at 86 feet. 5 seconds after it's launched, it is going to be at 86 feet. The answer is B. Let's do the next one, shall we? Number 130. Number 130 is quite straightforward and simple. We are told which is equivalent to the pair of inequalities. So they're giving us a pair of inequalities which are x plus 6 is greater than 10 and x minus 3 is less than or equal to 5. Very simple, very straightforward. These are the two inequalities. Our job is to somehow combine them together and identify one answer choice that is equivalent to having these two inequalities separately. Let's put them together, shall we? We done with this thing? Let's subtract 6 from both sides. If we subtract 6 from both sides, this 6 drops out, and this basically tells us that x is greater than 4. And this one here, let's add 3 to both sides. If we add 3 to both sides, this drops out and it says x is less than or equal to 8. X is less than or equal to 8. That's it, we're done. So in other words, x has to be greater than 4 or less than or equal to 8. There you go. X has to be less than 4. See here it says x is greater than 4, which is same as saying right here x is greater than 4 or 4 is less than x, same thing. So x is greater than 4 or less than or equal to 8, that's your answer. And that's answer choice D. Now if we had to show it on a number line, this is how we would do it. Instead of giving us the answer choices as they're giving us, if they had given us the answer choices in the form of a number line, and if we had to identify which one is the correct number line, this is how we would do it. Here's our 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's your 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here's our 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, because there is no equal sign here, 1, 2, 3, 4, this thing does not count. So we put an open circle there. This one has an equal sign. So here's your 5, 6, 7, 8. This is we close it. The entire thing is closed. And then make it darker. That's it. That's how we show it. That's it. From here to here. And the open circle means the 4 does not count. It is not equal to 4, it is greater than 4. But 8 does count because it is less than or equal to 8. That's all. We're done. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.